And we're live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. England versus Japan. Apologies for being a bit late. Was you catching up and keeping up with the just busy catching up with the fact that Ireland just Ireland Italy just pulled off the miracle and beat Australia. So just a little bit everywhere, just trying to make sure everything is all sorted, everything is all ready to go. Our scorecard is ready. We'll go through the lineups. Another very interesting clash waits for us in Twickenham, which is where we are right now. And yeah, I mean, we've just seen one upset. Will we see another upset? And the nice thing about, again, Japan, a little bit like Italy, they won't be afraid to play rugby. They won't be afraid to have a go at England. They won't be afraid. They're not going to sit there and lie down and just give up and not really go for, and really compete. They will have no issue whatsoever having a go. And this England side's under a bit of pressure, so I do expect them to get the victory. I'm very surprised we see sort of two upsets, but yeah, I think that this England side's under a lot of pressure, and if Japan can pull together a really good early sort of 20 to 30 minutes, putting them under pressure, very interested to see how they cope, whether they do cope or whether they get sort of crumbling a little bit under the pressure itself. So yeah, I'm gonna put a little poll in the comments, saying, and we're gonna find out who you guys are backing to win this game. Right, so we got the Trump side. It is Poppy Day at the moment, so a lot of the home nations playing with a poppy on their badge, and there will be some of the laps was that. But I mean, I mean, that's what I love about the Alternation series is that like full bands and the whole, they're ready to go all out. Um, so yeah, it's just guys get settled in here, and yeah, plenty of rugby to come still today, and hopefully we will see some really close games. I obviously missed the Ireland game because I was doing Italy versus Australia. So I have to catch up with that one tomorrow. But yeah, let me know if you watched the game. Just making sure we're all sorted. Okay, so right. So the first things first, a big shout out to Betcozo who are powering the stream. Them and ExpressVPN are our partners for this Autumn Nation series. ExpressVPN are making it easier than ever to watch this match. And all you got to do is check out the description. It's got a step-by-step process on how you can go and watch the match for free on Amazon Prime with a 30-day free trial using ExpressVPN. And BetCoza, well, they want to give you guys free bets. So what you want to do is you guys want to check the link in the description. You want to go to that page, and you got to go and create a BetCoza account, because once you do that, you'll be eligible to win some free bets. We're going to give you guys some free money to throw around and to put some money on various different matches. So how cool is that? And what more could you really ask for? Now we'll have the anthems as the final formality. So first we'll have the Japanese anthem before we move on to God Save the King. Right, first anthem underway. The Japanese anthem is done. We will have the English anthem, and then we will be ready to get going. We're going to our tab here. Right, so we already got a couple people putting in their predictions, stuff like that. So continue to give you your predictions in that section of, we'll be live for this game. We'll be live for Wales versus Argentina. And then obviously the big game for a lot of people is France versus South Africa tonight. 10 o'clock kickoff. It is a late one. We need a lot of staying power to get through the next few hours before that. I mean, that kickoff is still in 5 hours' time. Goodness me. So it's going to be a long day ahead. But, it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully we really get a big, cool watch-along going for that one as well. Right, so get my poll going as well. Who do you think is going to win this game? Who do you think will win this clash? And I might even put a draw in as an option, just because I'm pretty nice. Right, so Van den Heever, so the South African fans in the chat here, Gerard Van den Heever does start today in the number 14 jersey. You've also got Wimpy van der Walt and Lapis Labaskakni on the bench, so plenty of South African-born players on display today. And it's going to be quite. I think it's going to be quite an interesting game, and because I think that, as I said, Japan are a side that will very happily play their brand of rugby. They're not going to let England dictate how they must play. With that, you never know what might happen. As I said, England, obviously, you do expect them to get the job done. A couple of changes being made to the 23 from Eddie Jones, who is under a little bit of pressure. So far, we're sitting at 2 votes and 50-50 on who's actually going to win this match. So interesting to see where that'll end. And here we go. Here we go. We do have kickoff with England playing left to right in their white, Japan in their blue kit. Solid take under the high ball. We're going to go through the lineups now, just busy catching up on everything. So we'll get to all of that quite soon. But already going down to the running the width of the field there, Japan, and putting the ball forward. Freddie Stewart returns the favour. And decent conditions here at the moment here for this game. And I think Japan will enjoy these conditions very much, playing into sort of Japan's favour. Very dry conditions, like very doesn't even look particularly cold, to be honest. Anyway, Owen Farrell lifted high in the air. The taste of Freddie Stewart is there, but it's brilliantly taken out the air from Takaya Namasama. Now the loose head hit hard in the tackle by Mario Toja, which is Keita Inagagi. Nelson, the number 5 there. Japan running through a few phases, looking good here. But physically, they are England so far, make a couple of very big hits there. That's got to be coming from the side, should. Now Japan looking to run the hands. Matsushima going around the outside. Gerard Van den Heever throws the ball inside. And the kick ahead, but I think it did go out in the full there. So it will be an England set piece just inside their own half on the left-hand side. And early touch there. There's Owen Farrell there making the carry in the midfield there. Jack from Portley into the side. Asking for penalty. Does get penalty advantage here. Owen Farrell up from the bottom. Long pass up for Marcus Smith to Johnny May. Back into the side. Johnny May comes back on the inside. Matsushima makes the tackle. But England progressing well here. Big carry there coming there from David Ribbons. Marcus Smith, very flat pass to Ellis Genge. Looked like it was forward. It is forward. So we'll go back for the penalty. And going for the corner here. So England very much want to sort of apply the squeeze early, put a lot of pressure on Japan. And China, I think the biggest thing is to remove any doubt. It's just to put them on the back foot and say, no. Like, we saw Italy do it. You're not doing it to us. We're going to go. We're going to maul you over. We're going to show up physicality. We're going to put you away nice and early. There's going to be no semblance of hope. And they do go to Mario Tojo. It's a good take. So first maul of the day, yeah, for England. Lukai and Dicky controlling things in the back is looking pretty solid. It's going a little bit lateral. Jack from Portley comes to fetch the ball, though. Goes to Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith, his kick is charged down. Now Japan, not a lot of pace. Oh, they're going back for what? For what? Dylan Riley was away. Number 6 offside. The penalties against Michael Leach. Right, and all of a sudden it's a penalty on the 5-meter line. Ellis Genge wants to tap and go here. But Owen Farrell says, no. Nice try. We're going to take the points here, I think. $15 is the call. I mean, it's against Yamanaka, who breaks slightly early, but is absolutely nowhere near the action. He goes 2 steps earlier, then runs laterally towards the side. So if it's a player, I'm thinking, I'm sure he said 15. He had absolutely no bearing on what happened there whatsoever. A bit annoying. But it is a test match, so they do take the 3 points there. Right, so touch there with Sam Simmons into the starting lineup as well. Making the tackle for Inagaki. Now Jack from Portley goes high in the air. It'll be contestable. But here is calls for it, and ball falls back to the Japan side. I think there was almost a rip there, but the ball is available. It looked like Ju and Ku had actually lost out on it. Right, strong carry there, but Sam Simmons is doing a lot of work on the breakdown there. I think it was all carry, but the ball is available for Japan. Very, very well held on. I don't think Ju and Ku expected that at all, but good handling in the end there. An advantage offside this time for Japan, as Tavita Tatafu carries it in. Now looking for a bit of pace there. Ball comes a bit loose, very loose, and Japan a little bit under pressure. The long pass out wide. Still an advantage. A couple of nice actually hits being made by Japan. As Amino finds himself on the side there. Very, very highly rated is Kazuka Amino. The number 7 for Japan. And not too much on, so they do ask for the penalty. Nagaro was saying, like, come on, mate. Not much is going on yet. Blow your whistle. Let's go and have it. Right, go for the corner here. Japan needs a good kick. That's not a bad kick. It's just outside the 22, so Japan will have an opportunity here with a bit of an attacking set piece early on in the game. Good line up there, and it's a very nice line being run there. It was a good pass there from Yamasawa, and Dylan Wright has been quite involved so far in the early stages here. As Japan are now deep into the 22 here. Riley, good hands. Cutting in field is the inside center, which is Nakamura. Ooh, up quickly on the defense. There's Edis Genge, makes the initial hit. I think Luca and Dickey has turned that ball over. So it's available for England. Sinclair goes back on the inside to Marcus Smith. Ball bounces just ahead of him. And a bit of pressure is Marcus Smith, so he just boots it downfield. And Yamanaka will have quite a lot of time to get back against out to good position. Johnny May is tearing after him. Well, that's not a good kick either. It's knocked on by Mario Toje, thankfully, because I think if it had come off the boot and popped off to somebody, the Japan defense would have been absolutely nowhere there. But not a bad section of play there from Japan. A couple of nice phases, a couple of nice moves. The handling's looking slick as it always does. Right, so the scrum inside Japan's half, about the center in the field on the 10-meter line, or just above it, just before the 10-meter line rather. It will be a Japan feed. And we have a reset here. So almost 10 minutes to the game, just 3 points separating the two sides. Both then just sort of settling in. A couple of changes for England, so you expect them to be a bit, take a while for them to get going. That's another reset here. Hopefully it'll be a bit... Well, so no penalty for England. And it's a very kickable penalty as well. So unfortunately, I think this is where England is going to have the dominance, is in their pack. It's a very good front row with Carl Sinclair, Ellis Genge, Luca and Dickey. And you do expect them to bully the Japanese. They're going for the corner here, England. Right, Japan under a lot of pressure as England enter the 22. Luca and Dickey will have the feed. Expect this to look at the likes of Johnny Hill or Mario Toje. Mario Toje has been the launch upper so far. And is once again. Takes a while for him to get down. Eventually does. Early shove coming in from Japan. And the more going pretty lateral at the moment. I think there will be a call to use it. Curry coming to fetch the ball as well. And he'll, I'm sure, present it to from Portley because this ball is going absolutely nowhere. So good ball defense here from Japan. Now, Owen Farrell going to Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith going to Freddie Stewart. He's going to go all the way from the looks of it. Well, that is diabolical defending from Japan. That is really, really poor. There's not too much excuses there either. That's just poor. That's just ordinary defense. They got the defensive line completely wrong here, and Freddie Stewart has just sliced through it. He's been untouched as well. Yeah, Matsushima comes up quickly, doesn't get across there to make the tackle on Freddie Stewart. Yeah, just as soon as he missed the tackle, it's only going one way, and the covering defense was never getting there. Far, far too easy for England, who go 8-0 up with kick to come, and unfortunately, this is worrying signs for Japan. We've seen them look very competitive in the past, but so far, on defense at least, haven't really been at the races, and pretty sure it'll go over. I'll be back in 2 seconds. That was quite literally 2 seconds. Trying to look for my hard drive. Where's my hard drive? Right, kick to come here from Owen Farrell. Owen Farrell, it's a good looking kick. That's why he's on kick looking duty. That's 2 from 2 from Owen Farrell. Right against touchline. It's a brilliant kick, it must be said. Yeah, I see one tackle miss and bang, he goes over. It's a brutal game, rugby. It's a brutal game. Could restart the other as well. Long cross kick coming there to Johnny May. Gathers it, kicks ahead. Good covering there. But a lot of pressure being put and the pop up. And there's a knock on as well from Japan. Japan are nowhere, unfortunately, at the moment. Really poor. Kind of just scrambling at the moment. Not managing to get much right here. Good cross kick. Johnny May, first thing he did when he gets to the ball in hand is kicks ahead. Back on the side is Johnny May, the England speedster. Right, so scrum here on the far right-hand side here for England. They've got the full width of the field to attack. We're having another reset here, but I think it's going to be a very long day at the scrums here for Japan. It's a very good England pack. Change of shorts here for Carl Sinclair. Right, once again, after the reset, as I said, the full width of the field here for Japan to use. I mean, for England to use. So worrying sides for Japan, given the fact that they've been hit once off the back of a set piece and another penalty. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day, unfortunately. A long, long day for Japan if they don't sort out the scrum because at the moment they're just being absolutely pummeled. I don't know, and the problem is, I mean, it's a difficult thing to fix because you can't just throw on the reserve front row in the hope that they'll get better because. So having a conversation with the referee to try and find out where he's being penalised. So hopefully he can. Well, Luke Dickey off the back goes to Sam Simmons. Sam Simmons within 5. Backwards of the call now. Johnny Hill. Pass forward. Yeah, I was about to say knock on was the call. I was about to say why was Johnny Hill slowing up there? So Japan survived. Johnny Hill was through, but a knock on. Right, so scrum now for Japan, which is not what they really want because they're really struggling at scrum time. So, yeah, at the end of the day, Inagagi, Sakata, and Ku have got to stand up here. They've got it. They've got to try and fix this. They cannot just concede scrum penalties every single time there is a scrum. It's a bit more solid. That's a much better scrum. Ball does come out, and they do exit. Not the best exit in the world. They haven't found too much ground. But Yamasawa has found touch, and I think that's probably the main thing. Get themselves out of the side of the 22. Such a cool kit, this Japanese blue kit. I reckon I can actually enjoy it. I actually might have to go buy one. Michael Leach, former captained Japan at the World Cup. A very important figure in Japanese rugby. Not captaining today, however. Carry there from... Oh, the ball's been actually been ripped. Well, it's a really good... It looked like a decent carry there from Guy Porter. Well made in the tackle. And, well, Tatapu has ripped that. Now a bit of space down the side. You have Japan to attack. Kherfan and Hever comes inside. And the ball's been popped up. And Riley's knocked it on. And then knocked on by England. So we'll have another scrum for England, which is almost a guaranteed penalty. So, I mean, they go wide very well, do Japan. So it was well made in the tackle here. It's a very nice tackle. On Guy Porter by Ryota Nakamura. And he's the one that actually rips it away. Generali was not expecting that ball to power from Kherfan of Hever. As a result, knocked it on. So another scrum for England. Pretty slow going so far. I mean, we are 20, almost 20. Actually, no, not too bad. Actually, I haven't said that for kickoff. It feels like we've had a couple of breaks, though. All that time off here, and having a bloody drinks break. I mean, why are we having drinks breaks? Why? Why? Right, so it's just on the halfway line. Once again, we've got the full width attack, and this time they're on the right hand side, so it does favour the left-handed pass, but it's a huge scrum once again. No penalty coming at this stage. Being told to use it, and here comes the penalty. Yeah, the Japanese scrum. At the end of the day, if you're going to concede penalty at every single scrum, it becomes very easy to win rugby matches. It's where the boxman's so effective. You know, you pulverize the scrum, take the 3 points. That's 3 scrum penalties that Japan have conceded. I would say, I think this has been from earlier. Kind of saying I wouldn't take anyone seriously who declared Australia one of the big three. Yeah, no, listen, Australia are an I mean, I actually want to check where the I had the rugby with the world ranking permutations. And I think Australia now fall out of the top 10 actually, or could fall out of the top 10 um, with the right results. I think. Let me go check that. Maury Toje, well, just managed to hold on. It wasn't the cleanest lineup, but he does hold on. So England just outside the 22. Jack from Portleet goes to Tom Curry. Now Hill, who leaves it to for Genge. Getting into the 22 here. Portleet now going towards the right hand side. Mark Smith has changed the point of attack. Ball over the top, but it's been completely intercepted. Right now, chase is on. England players are back. Wasn't sure it was actually the best decision by Nagara to put it to the boot. I think it would have actually been better taking contact and finding a few meters, but the kick in behind is returned. The 53-meter kick, which goes down the throat of Marcus Smith. Now Marcus Smith lifts it high. It's a bit more contestable. Freddie Stewart after it, but it's gone quite far. He does hit him in the air, but it almost pulls out of it. So no penalty for him. Machishima doing well to take it out the air. Now Japan. Run the hands, run the hands, run the hands. Straighten. And lost the ball forward. Japan can't do anything right. Turnover ball now. Carl Sinclair. Tom Curry at scrum off, giving it to Johnny Hill. Importantly now to Owen Farrell. Owen Farrell to Johnny May. Brought down by Dylan Riley. From Portley goes to Lukau and Dickey. Mark Smith, little chip over the top for Owen Farrell. But well read. Turnover ball. Big tackle coming from Owen Farrell. But Japan do maintain possession. So, bit of innovation not really paying off. Now trying to sort of peking him back with nobody there. But Freddie Stewart has covered very well. Freddie Stewart wants to run by himself. Gets away from one. Almost through two. Gets the offload away to Van Portleet. Van Portleet's got Koganasiga as company. And can he get away? The tackle comes in. He makes the offload to Marcus Smith. Who's over? Ah, it's too easy. It's far, far too easy. Marcus Smith just had a bit of outside, a bit of a goose step coming in. It was a good tackle being made. It was a desperate tackle made by Yamasawa, but this is too easy from Freddie Stewart. He drifts inside, gets in between two players, creates the offload. Van Portleet is there. Going to see, it looks like he's going to get away, but it's a very valiant tackle. And my biggest feeling, and I think that you look at Nagara, who's there, the ruck's in front of him, and he's looking at where the defenders are. Be brave. You've got to slow that ball down. You've got to get yourself, you've actually got to go in there for the jackal, slow the ball down. Yes, you're going to get hit by a big forward. That's the only way that, you're preventing that try. You see, he's got the time there to get in beside and have a go. You've got to be brave. Because all that allowed is all the English players to get in. There was always going to be an overlap. The Japanese defense was always scrambling there. So I think that's probably my biggest criticism there, is that he had a chance to get over and try and slow that ball down and allow the Japanese defense to reorganize. Didn't want to take the hit with a couple of big forwards and big boys around. You've got to, unfortunately, at the end of the day. And England flying at the moment. And once again, Owen Farrell has the extras. So he's 3 from 3 so far. Lucan Dickey from the kickoff. Bit of a variation there, but he was alive to the threat and does do well to maintain possession for England. Importantly, going to Sam Simmons. Now, importantly, lifting it high in the air. The ball comes off. I think we're going to see gap balls the way of Japan. Then a knock on there coming. No, not knocking at all. So eventually the call comes in. There's a knock on from Japan. So the England scrum right by the front of the poles. So they were to get a penalty. And I could have the guess as to which way this is going to go. Yeah, I can tell you right now, this is going to be a scrum penalty. Conor K was saying lose to a team in 12th guarantees. Yeah, it's actually what I want to check is the world rankings here. Where's Australia? Where's Australia? Where's Australia? Australia could drop 3 places to a new low of 10th in defeat if they lose by more than 15 points. Okay, so they didn't lose by more than 15 points. And Scotland and Japan also have to make upsets. So, yeah, I don't think they'll fall down to 10th, but they definitely could swap a couple of places. Didn't say I want to obey Japan upstairs. Steve, I think you have some stiff competition with Mark. You might soon get more viewers. Nah. He had the more popular games today. I think our numbers were actually pretty similar by the end of it, to be fair. You can't replace the GOAT at the end of the day, you know. It's my bread and butter here. Yeah, I think the initial knock on actually is from yeah, there it is from England. So it will be a Japan scrum. Albert saying, so Australia almost beat France, but lose to Italy. What does it say about France? I mean, it's well, I think it says a lot about. I just think we're in like a new rugby world order at the moment, where like the teams are just so much closer than they've ever been before. Better scrum there. Manchester team coming in first receiver. Inside ball, but very look at the handling. Look at the handling. Well, the question is, what can they do with it? That's a line break into England territory from Riley. Really nice handling there from Japan. That's a bit more like it. Oh, and a nice little offload there as well. Bit of champagne ruggers from the buggers. And there it is. A line break, and they're almost up to 22. This is a bit more like it. This is the Japan we know and love. Nagara, not too many options. And again, look at the offload game. Here, popping out to Michael Leach on the wing there. And he can't stay in. But they've gone from well inside their own half to about 50 meters short. And that is what we like to see from Japan. Da, 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 da. Yeah, probably need to try and cut inside there a little bit. He's always going to be, he's never going to have the pace, but just try and keep that ball alive. Bit of a messy line there for Japan, and it's well for England. It's falling back the way of Japan. Now Leach, strong carry. Nagara going to Nakamura, who came on the inside there. This is a bit better. Tafu is working really hard. Pop up. That's a good carry. That's a nice little work. This is much better from Japan. They're right on the doorstep here. Pick up and go. They're just short. Quick ball here, and I reckon it could be on. Amasawa. England come off side to penalty advantage. And they've lost it forward. So we'll go back for the penalty. Now, decision time. I reckon they'll probably go for the scrum here. I mean, for the line out. Not going to go for the scrum. That's the last thing you're going to do. Surely not going to go for the 3 points here. I mean, what's the point in that? No, they are going to go for the 3 points, I think. Bit of a strange decision. They're 17 points down. 17, 14. There's not much in them in that, really. But I suppose any points are better than no points. Should be a pretty straightforward attempt. So it should be the first point on the board here from Japan. Is the first point on the board for Japan. Right, so half an hour. Japan get their first points on the board. Good take in the air as well. Oh, he's breaking straight through here, Yamasawa. Where's his portrait? Nagara goes to the right-hand side. Japan looking to keep the ball alive here. Wasn't held, so he picks up and has another go to Semino. Now cross kick coming in for Vandenheerve. Ball bounces, but he does gather it. He's going to chip and chase. Freddie Stewart is coming across. Vandenheerve asks for the penalty, claiming obstruction, but nothing forthcoming from the referee. Now Ellis Genge in the midfield there. Now if Porty lifts it high in the air, Freddie Stewart is chasing hard. And if Johnny Mayer takes it very well up the air. Curry at scrum off, seen that before. Sinclair now. Japan under pressure with 7 minutes left in the half. Marcus Smith going to Owen Farrell. Owen Farrell dabbing in front, but it comes with a Japanese player, and it is turnover ball. Tafu has come away with it. Oh, good handling there. Michael Leach through the gap. Oh, go, Michael! He needs support. He needs support. It does come. Ryan now needs support. He puts in the... Oh, no, does he? Does he? No, he's going to just short. Where is the offer? He needs... Matsushima is so busy running to the thing. It's advantage. Penalty advantage. The ball's loose. Mr. Ref, if this is a penalty, I reckon we might have to see a card here. We are going to see potentially a card here. Yeah, it's cynical. It's cynical. And Johnny May is going to leave the field for 10 minutes. What a break. All started from Michael Leach. Dylan Riley, brilliant piece of individual from him. Yep. Pat at the back there from James over to the coach, and they will take it to 3 again. I don't like that decision again. I understand the thinking, Japan. You know, obviously keeps sticking it over, but they've just gone down to 14. Well, I suppose the thinking is, you know, you take the 3 quickly, but then take the 3 quickly, dude. You can't be taking like 3 minutes to take the 3. You got to try and hit home the advantage. Trying to say Ireland #1, but they struggled against Fiji for a while. Shows the ultra competitors of the sport, mate, 100%. Costs of France upset will make the World Cup really interesting. It also shows how make a lot of changes impacts Team Oz and Ireland test a few players. Restart towards the right-hand side there. Right, Michael Leach steps inside. He's been good, Michael Leach. Made a couple of line breaks there. Very, very industrious. Now Nagara. Needs to find a good kick here. He lifts it high in the air. Gerrit van den Heever is chasing. And the ball comes a bit loose, and as we gain by Japan. So up towards the halfway line. And once again, really good hands. I think it was, but the ball's been ripped up by Tom Curry, but nobody in England wanted it. So forward back the way of the Japanese. So Japan keeping possession as well. Turn inside by foot. But having said that, no, I was going to say it is turn of possession, but illegally so by England. So there's a penalty for Japan. Right, now this is good for the Japan. If they can kick to the corner, got up against 14 men. Just try and hold the ball a little bit, do a bit of damage control. If they find another penalty, I suppose they can get themselves within 8 points. And Japan, yeah, we're really poor. Was that going to find touch? Is it going to find touch? It's not going to find touch. You've got to find touch. You cannot afford to make mistakes like that. Japan don't find touch. Freddie Stewart at the restart. Manaka puts it high in the air. Kogasika takes it well. And a big counter coming in from Japan, but it's well maintained by England. You can't make those mistakes. I mean, trying to get to the 5 meter, just take it to the 22, just small steps, baby steps. The thing with Japan is that they create line breaks. You don't necessarily have to be 5 meters out. It's never going to be a slugfest with them. Couple of fumbles there. It does fall towards Japan, who have got possession back. Oh, that's really poor. That's so poor. Kick comes in from England. And Van den Heever has fumbled it. Fumbled Field has now dived in it. I mean, you'd think it was like pouring with rain with all those handling errors. Japan under a lot of pressure. Penalty advantage is over for England, though. And Yamanaka will find touch, but from being on the front foot on the halfway line, they're all the way back on the back foot, despite being down to 14 men. England are on inside the 22 with an opportunity to try and score some points here. Well, ball over the top for England, and Japan do come away with it. And Riley turning, the ball comes loose. Hamida comes away with it. Brought down by Mario Toje, so very messy at the moment. The last couple of minutes, very messy. Japan at this stage probably just need to get to half time, to be honest. Well, the clearance goes straight down the middle of the park, so not looking for touch, and it is straight in between Koganasiga as well as Freddie Stewart. Freddie Stewart goes up in the air and will regather his own kick, but he almost losing the ball forward. He's so good in the air. Freddie Stewart. Koganasiga now with the throws of the dummy, but is met in the tackle. Hitting with possession just inside their team meter, the Japan team meter line. Mario Tojo, haven't seen too much of him with ball in hand so far today, but he used a lot in the last. And importantly, he sees a bit of space in behind. Good covering coming from the Japanese fullback. And now Van den Heever being caught on the ball with so many England players around him. Owen Farrell's come away with it. And if they score this try, which they are, Sam Simmons. Yeah, and Gerrit van den Heever has to put his hands up there and say he just give one absolute idiot. So much time to find a clearance. Decides no, he's going to keep it. He's going to keep it himself with 3 England players around him. It gets picket pockets. They go wide, and England are over just on the brink of half time with 14 men as well. 17 points to 6. You come back, got a momentum. You've got a man down. Get to the half time, but no. You've got to be trying to be a hero. I just don't understand. I mean, look, it all stems from that brilliant kick chase from Freddie Stewart to regather his own kick. But this was just a moment of madness from Gerrit van den Heever. Dear, dear, dear. Yeah, and I think it's been the biggest problem with Japan is you're going to be under the pressure a lot anyway. It's a really tough game for you to try and win. You cannot afford stupid mistakes. Like, you're going to make mistakes, it's fine. You're going to make mistakes. That's inevitable. It will happen. You will make mistakes. Cannot afford mistakes like that. Right, Owen Farrell look to try and maintain his perfect record from the boot so far. And he does so. Right. Half time, 24 points to 6. Go get your beverages. We'll see you guys in a little bit. And yeah, not good really. And are England going to stay here? Or I think they're just waiting for Owen Farrell to lead them in. Or are they going to stay out? I don't know. They could be staying out here. Anyway, half time. Go get your drinks. Go get your snacks. And we'll see you guys in a little bit. Right, and we are back. And Japan chasing England. A really, really poor moment right at the end of the half. As yeah, it's just why I don't understand. Kieran from here was thinking there, and yeah, I mean they sort of slowly get themselves back to them as they had there was still a yellow card for England. So you sit there thinking, right, well they can potentially come back. But then Moody has a bit of a moment of madness, and they gift him a try right on the brink of half time. So that is a replacement though. There's like Wimpy van der Walt is on the park. I think a couple of placements here for Japan. England just sort of trying to negotiate this period without the without Johnny May. Right, good line out there. Right, let's settle in. Let's settle in, shall we? So Japan's got to score first shot. They're gonna get anything out of this game. I mean, it's not like you can get losing bonus points. You either win or you lose. Oh, that's a very nice run there. Dylan Ryan's been very impressive tonight. I've actually enjoyed watching him. Michael Leach as well had a good game. The penalty advantage for Japan. Need to try and score whilst they do have the one-man advantage. A try would take them to, that's a straight on touch, to 13 points. So still plenty behind. So what are we saying, people? What are we saying about this Japanese performance so far? So, I think speaking about that moment, Joe Alvin saying it was done. England looks great as Carl Smith. That's how you beat Japan. All Blacks. That's Edwin saying Box need to win today. Put a bit of wager on them winning. Yeah, I've also put a bit of money on there. We've been given 2.6 odds, and I sat there going, I like those odds. I like those odds. Write us off with your own bloody peril betting companies. Write us off. How did Fair Sports start? It was it's been quite a process. We've been going for a long time. We're sort of basically it all kind of started. My brother had many years ago. We're talking about 10, 11 years ago. Started like a Manchester United fan page on Facebook. Was kind of doing that, kind of doing newsy and stuff like that. I kind of got involved there. I was at school at the time, and then I went to go and study journalism at varsity. At the time, then we sort of said maybe we need to do something because we really liked the idea of sort of fan based content, which was starting. Like the murmuring was there. There were kind of all these other sort of fan pages kind of popping up at that time, and we then as Japan are lining up for the three, by the way, that's why I've got a bit of time to speak about that. Yeah, so we basically started with a couple of social media accounts. That's not a bad looking kick. It's going to slide to the right. I like them to be a bit braver and go for the corner, to be honest. And then eventually we became a website. The website was cool, it worked, but the biggest issue was finding any sort of revenue model. And then during lockdown, basically, we suddenly got into YouTube and decided, well, let's have a stab here. And started with actually a Manchester United YouTube channel, which was all right, but wasn't sort of the same sort of traction. Started doing a bit of rugby, started doing a bit of cricket, and we've had a lot more success there. And the rest, they say, is history. So, that's kind of how we came about. The YouTube channel, we're actually fairly new. We're about 18 months into, maybe about 2 years now, actually. We're about 18 months or 20 months or so since we've been doing it sort of properly. I would say we started doing it properly towards the end of 2021. But yeah, anyway, Japan with possession here. A couple of wayward passes, though. There is another replacement on for Japan. So an out-and-out fly half in Sung Lee is onto the park as well. There's a lot of bodies there. Slow ball here for Japan. England back to a full contingent. It's not. I mean, what? So it's Warner Durns who I eventually thought it looked like Wim van der Walt come on, and he's been so nowhere that I actually haven't seen. I think it's the first time I've seen in the entire match, which is bizarre. Anyway, bit of a kicking battle here between the two teams. Japan turning the favor after Freddie Stewart kick deep. Johnny Mann, and this one goes inside to Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith weighing up his options, seeing a bit of space down the middle of the park, goes towards the left-hand side. Johnny Hill is not retreating, Mr. Refs. By the way, you've got to make an effort to retreat. You can't actually just watch Oaks catch up to you. Mark Smith working under the return there, giving it inside to Jack van Portleet, who pops it up to Stewart. Looked a bit forward, with Stewart down the side. Stewart is tackled out, surely. No, Matsushima also thought so. Johnny Hill brushing off one Japanese player, continue going. Van Portleet, quick ball. Giving it to Mark Smith. Mark Smith short to Carl Sinclair. Now, Johnny May has come off to Mark Smith to Farrell to Porter, we've seen very little of as well. Van Portleet back on the inside to Luke and Dickey, made hard in the tackle by his opposite number. Pick up and go coming from Kogan Nasiga. Good pass out from Portleet. Smith stabbing and kicking behind. And a lot of pressure on Japan there. England will win a penalty. Good work being done there by Ribbons and I think it's Van Portleet as well. So it ended up being a decent idea, actually, kicking behind from Marcus Smith. Lockdown was the best in disguise. 100%. Lockdown was actually a game changer for us, to be honest. It had kind of died a bit. We didn't really have time. I was basically working a full-time job whilst I was trying to finish my master's, which was also full-time. So, yeah, that's why Favorite Sports had basically sort of taken a back seat. But then during lockdown, I kind of stumbled onto YouTube and kind of understood a bit better. And then we decided let's have a stab. So yeah, and now here we are with some big plans. So we just launched the new Forever Rugby website. We've got a new Forever Sports Media website as well. And we've got a couple other projects in the works. And yeah, I actually quit my job in June to actually give Forever Sports my full-time attention, which financially was a pretty poor decision. But if it's going to work, we're going to have to try. Anyway, dealing with the rolling more here. And Owen Farrell there on the angle. Then the Japan defense is scrambling. Freddie Stewart stands up, does be brought down by his opposite number. Good tackle being made there. Tom Curry gives it to Carl Sinclair, who's running hard. This looks like an inevitability as opposed to a possibility for a try here. Ellis Genge. The bus is full. Ellis Genge is over. That is a huge try from the loose head. So much power. What a carry there from Ellis Genge. Goodness me. Bang, and that's the part of the... I think that kind of sums it up, really. The physicality, just... Japan can't compete. And Owen Farrell as the extras. England now looking for a big score. 31 points to 6. And as I said, the Japan, you can understand maybe, let me try and get some points. But if they really wanted to compete, they had to be brave. They had to go for corners. They had to try and score tries. You were never going to catch up with England 3 points at a time when England are just dealing in tries. England had an early opportunity for a try. It didn't come through, so then they didn't took the 3 points. And after that, they said, cool. We'll just barge our way over it. And so they do. Right, the restart going towards the left-hand side. Sam Simmons underneath it. For an assist so far this game has Sam Simmons into the side and starting tonight. Believe in Apollo relegated to the bench. And a decent take there. And Japan back with possession on the halfway line. And big counter ruck turnover with Johnny Hill. Ball over the top to Freddie Stewart. Ball over the top to Johnny May. This is now just becoming too easy. Guys are just, they're just putting out basketball passes. Now, Owen Farrell, Guy Porter is chasing hard. And they're over again. Yeah, so this could get very dirty, very grimy, and very ugly very quickly. Guy Porter, you haven't seen much of him today. Owen Farrell has got a couple of got quite a few points of the boot now. You add a assist to the tally. A brilliant little dinking behind there. Owen Farrell saw the space in behind. I mean, like the two locks with little basketball passes, and then nobody behind. So Farrell says, "Cool, give it a chase." Guy Porter's always got the run in, stays composed, gets over the ball. Right, and 36 points to 6. This could become very ugly very quickly for Japan. I'm not sure what they can do to make. Eddie Jones had enough. But he's walking down the park. I don't know if his headphones aren't working or what the story is there. And I reckon we're about to see a lot of England players come moving off the bench. And that's another really good kick. He's striking them so well at the moment. That's brilliant. Right, 38 points to 6. It's a long way back. Lewis Cucklin's on for Tatafu. Sam Simmons once again under the restart. It's a good take from him as well. And knock on there coming from England, so it will be a Japanese scrum. Right, check the subs. Jamie George, Marco Vinopola being ready for England. I mean, they've been absolutely decimated all day, and then you replace Luke and Dickey and Ellis Genge with Jamie George and Marco Vinopola. I mean, it's a bit of a cheat code, isn't it? Like Japan are probably sitting like, what? When do we get a break? Like, what happens? Like, is there break any time? Like, what's the chat here? Yeah, so big scrum needed here from Japan, and the scrum's gonna have to put their hands up and just. Right, good scrum there. Good continuity of this from Japan. They find themselves towards the 10-meter line. So they were surely working themselves into a decent attacking position. And I think now it's sort of becoming more of a learning experience, isn't it? You know, you get to a point where at 32 points down with half an hour to go, you're not winning this match. So the question now, it's a very nice little kick in behind actually, but Koganasiga has read it well and got back comfortably. And a bit of a charge down coming from the kick, but no harm done really. And this actually, the problem with results like this is that now kind of becomes a training exercise for both teams. From England, it's kind of a case of, okay, well now we can, as AJ said, he doesn't want to show too much for the World Cup, but you can now work on a few things, try a couple of training ground moves from Japan. It's about, first of all, damage control, but then it's also about, right, let's just stick to our game plan. Let's see if we can execute it. You know, if we can find a few tries, if we can execute what we want to execute, you know, we can still get something out of this game. Jenny George's first line is successful. It's a good line from him. Now, high restart there. Oh, bit of a fumble, and the ball's gone forward. It will be a England scrum. Not a good moment there from the Japan M23 who is Siasoa Fafita. He's had a couple of nice touches, but handling hasn't been particularly good so far. Right, so scrum on the right-hand side of the park here for England. They've got the full width of the field towards the left for there to use. Penalty for Japan. Oh, well, there we go. A bit of relief. A bit of relief. Well, they've been under pressure the entire day. They haven't won a single scrum penalty up until now. The replacement front row comes for England, and we are just talking about how good it was and how, you know, this is going to put them under so much more pressure. And yet, Japan say absolutely no issue whatsoever, and they win themselves a penalty. Right, so it's a good kick as well. So they're 5 minutes out. Japan, can they strike back? Can they still get something out of this game? Can they try and find a few tries? It's a very good take for. Oh, and as I say that, handling error, and Lee's gonna have to clean up here. It was a good take there by Dons. Now Leach worked hard so far today, and now Sato, new scrum off, looking to try and add a bit of impetus to the attack. Now Lee carrying himself. But so far, it's a white wall from England that is just not giving an inch. And Japan really starting to get over the advantage line. Now, a couple of balls in, good handling. Ball at the top to Gaganasiga, who does manage to rein in his defender. Now back inside to Lee. To Dons. Long ball over the top. Does stay inside though. Fafita comes inside. Very physical player is Fafita. And I mean they've gone through 12 phases and yet just going backwards at the moment on Japan. That's a nice little offload. Amina will try and get back on the front foot. Oh, he's straight through. And it's turns. And they're through. They're over. Hey, there we go. There we go. Well, something out of nothing. Wasn't too much on. All of a sudden, Derns is through. Really good support there coming from Noto Soto. And all of a sudden, Japan are back. And hey, I mean, look, they're not back, but they've got to try. And you gotta celebrate the small things in life because, yeah, it has been a bit of a thrashing so far. Yeah, it's good support line. I mean, how does this ball just come out? So it actually gets ripped, and then he just grabs on the floor, manages to hold onto it as well. Nobody in front of him, gets around Pampoli to make the tackle, but Noto Soto, brilliant support line, says, I'll help you, I don't stress, and I'll grab a in the process. Hey, there it is. a nice moment for Japan. A couple more of those, and they might still yet take something out of this. And the extra 2 points, so 38 points to 13. Right, deep restart. It's actually just about 22, it's not that deep, but it's a good take by Japan. As I said, from them it's about now taking a chance, executing, scoring any points. Japan go score another try and try and make the scoreline look a bit more respectable. Then I think they might not be the worst day out. At the end of the day, it was going to be a massive task for them to try and come and beat England. That's a nice little regather there. But at the end of the day, it's about hitting your straps, isn't it? About executing your game plan. You do that well, and there's still a lot you can take out. I mean, you're playing against England. You're playing against a world class side. They aren't playing particularly well at the moment, but they still are. I mean, they're the Rugby World Cup finalists. A lot of people backing them to be very competitive next year. Matsushima has left so much space on the side. That's a brilliant kick. And it's just outside the 22. It's almost the 22 from Freddie Stewart. Acres and acres of space left out there by Matsushima. So not particularly difficult for Freddie Stewart to find the space. And really was looking at that 22. And he's just inches away from getting it. Right, there goes Johnny Hill. Leaves the park. Job done for him. Looking very different without his long hair. Not sure he's it's suited to him. Here comes Billy Vinipola. So it looks like Mario Toji will stop back into the second row. Sam Simmons still on the park. Tsushima kind of manhandled there, but the important thing is Japan do keep possession off the line. Ball over the top from Nate Soto. Ball bounces high and eventually runs to Johnny Mays and put under pressure there from Wim van der Walt. Up in Porty is digging. Very slow ball coming. Eventually does come out to Vinipola. Marco, that is. He's hit hard in the collision. Driven back, actually. It's good defense from Japan. Now Van Portleet will lift this high into the air. Johnny Ray's coming inside. The ball goes loose. Japan do come away with it. Long pass off Nato Soto. Inside ball this time. Dylan Riley's had a really productive day. I've been very impressed with him. Oh, jeeper, that's a huge hit. Caught on the ball as well. And Craig Miller's been hammered and lost the ball forward. Not sure. I think it was Napoli who made the hit. Jeepers me. Got a break here. And so 18 minutes left in this match. We just will go straight through to Wales versus Argentina. It'll not be me, but I reckon you'll still be able to recognize the person it will be. So Rian Lowe will be taking us. It is his first stream. So he'll be taking you through Wales versus Argentina. And I'll be back for the big event, France versus South Africa, later this evening. What a match that's going to be. What a match. I'm so excited. Good kicking behind. It's going to go too far. I thought it looked like a nice kicking behind from Japan, but just drifting too far there. Right, there comes Ben Youngs. He continues to rack up caps as the highest capped English player of all time. Jack from Portley, decent game from him. He'll be quite tough with that, I reckon. And here comes Mara Tuolagi and Joe Kaganasiga. And Lawrence will take to the field as well as... Slade rather, not Lawrence. Lawrence is everybody's been talking about. Slade onto the park as well as Tuolagi. So England emptying their bench now with 17 minutes to go. The restart being gathered there by Fafita. Big hit on him though. Right, Japan, what can they conjure up there? Short ball. Was well read in defense by Marcus Smith, but good hands there from Japan. Soto now going towards the left-hand side. Lee, a couple of player overlap. Oh, and they left the ball behind. The handling from Japan at times has been brilliant. At times been really poor. A couple of like sloppy drops. A couple of really, uncharacteristic handling errors. And it's gone loose a bit here. Labaskakni there. Carrying up there. Long pass out. Oh, now this is numbers. And the ball's gone to nobody. It almost worked out. Fafita on the wing. He steps inside of Freddie Stewart. Still going, Fafita. That's a very nice run. Gets up to 22. Pops it up to Hermina as well. So Japan's still with possession. This is a nice continuity. Good continuity here. Oh, play the hands. Run the hands. Matsushima. It's Slade. And not Slade, Johnny May. Making a few meters there. Much better continuity here. Craig Miller. Thought about going himself. Sutu goes himself now. Lee inside ball. A bit of ingenuity coming inside. Pick up and go from the Derns. Labaskakni now. Edging closer to Japan. Pick up and go from Craig Miller, but he runs into Jamie George. Not somebody I would want to run into. Now Derns again. Derns, is he over? It's just short. Is the ball going to come out? Saito can see it. The ball will come out. They're right on the verge here, are Japan. Saito goes to Lee. Long ball out. Slade makes the tackle. They've lost all that field possession. They were literally 2 meters away, and now all of a sudden they're about 50 meters away. Fafita coming back inside, but working hard. Fafita's actually done really well. Lord, he's still going. Tackle, you got to release now, ref. Now they're going the short side. Behind from Dylan Riley. And Farrell will go in and just dab it down. It wasn't the worst option from Riley. Then actually ran into somebody. But I'm impressed with Dylan Riley, though. That's what I think. I think a couple of nice performances from the Japanese players. I think Fafita looked really good when he's come on, really physical. I think that Dylan Riley's played pretty well as well. Michael Leach had another good game. Right, Carl Sinclair departs the field, playing some of his best rugby at the moment. Carl Sinclair, I think really took that not making the initial British and Irish Lions squad to heart, and has come back with a vengeance. Now, I mean, obviously, a very normal and casual starter for England, but making himself quite an important figure in this English side as well. It's a very nice carry here. So Japan are still full of running, still want to have a go here. Short, that's a nice take by Michael Leach. He does get driven back. Oh, and the charge down from Lee, but it falls back to Matsushima, so no harm done in the end. Didn't really now need to try and get his back on the front foot. Spins away from one tackle. Craig Miller, first receiver. Now Michael Leach, show and go, goes himself. Brought down by Sam Simmons. And Soto has been caught on the ball. And then forced to Michael Leach to an offside position, so it will be a penalty. Right, JT saying box will eat France easily. Oh, I'm not sure about easily. French pack's going to maul the box. I would say French pack not going anywhere against the box. More than 3 hours to go to the box game. Yeah, still a long time to go. I would say Collie better bring his kicking boots for tonight. And once again, as for box fans, had a lot of chest have to blame the game we lose. Pretty standard though. I definitely don't think the ref was I don't know why we're going after the ref, to be honest. We didn't make our kicks, that's why we lost. Right, here we go. England on the attack here. Rodney Moore, Jamie George. Will he add to his plenty full cupboard of Rodney Moore tries? I don't think he will. I think I don't think he's got. I don't think he's got that down yet. I think it's gonna be a yellow card here as well. Penalty try, yellow card. Wow, you couldn't have asked for more as an England fan, and you couldn't have asked for worse for Japan. Yeah, and I mean, I think it's probably the right decision. I mean, it was only ending in one way. So 45 points, 30, and the question now comes to will England break 50? That's kind of the only question still yet to be answered. It's a knock on there from the restart, so a bit of a reprieve from Japan. Comes back there. Matsushima now. It's a solid carry from him. They've been missing that from him. I'll go back to the blind side. Michael Leach. Still full of energy. Lavaskakni. Solid carry from him. Lee going himself. Almost through a gap. Just short of the 22. Leach once again. Carrying strongly. Oh, living. That's a huge hit from Owen Farrell. Coming back on the side. The long ball at the top here. Japan on the outside. Inside ball to Matsushima. Can he stay in? He leaves the ball behind. It will go out. It was a fantastic pass out wide. And it looked like Yamanaka was going to be able to make something of it. But Matsushima then following up a good support play. Managed to keep the ball inside. Johnny may have been cut out there. Yeah, it was a good inside ball, and Matsushima did well to leave it behind and try and work out who picked it up while standing in touch. It wasn't his best moment, was it? Alright, so we got an injury here. So a bit of a time off, but 8 minutes left in the match, and Japan just bullied. I think is the question. Is the summary there? Bullied by England. England have been a lot better than they were last week, where they did cause an upset. But Japan just really at the races for the first sort of 20-25 minutes, and then a really poor moment just before half time. And the damage was really done in the first half. The second half, Japan had some bright moments, but again, a couple of tries. When England scored, they kind of scored in clusters. Ben Young's lifting high there, doesn't find touch. Matsushima then does just toss in touch, basically. That's really poor. Stuff like that you can't forgive. You had plenty of time, needs to go up, catch it, and he's literally just fumbled it straight into touch. That's just sloppy, unfortunately. Ben Young's in the back of the running more. It is going. Does go to Marcus Smith. Marcus Smith, so much space out wide, but it's a pretty poor cross kick in the end to Freddie Stewart. Stewart, however, chips the ball over the top. And the bounce of the rugby ball. Well, Slade or Marcus Smith. Give me Marcus Smith, I think. Marcus Smith is over. The bounce of the rugby ball during Japan. Marcus Smith goes over. England do bring up their 50. Not a good day in the office for the Brave Blossoms, who were brave and poor. Yeah, and the 14 men really showing their good kick over the top there, but just the bounce low ball just complete as Matsushima, who's not alive to it. The kick ahead comes again from Slade, and Marcus Smith just waits for it to pop up, jumps over. As always, the hardworking Michael Leach was one of the players around there. But Eddie Jones will be impressed. Well, you'll be happy with the performance. I think they've still got room to get better, and it's always difficult to judge against a non-tier 1 side. But They needed a response from last week, and this is a pretty emphatic one. I think probably the biggest thing, the biggest sort of positives they can take is, for example, the Smith Farrell access looked a lot better today. So I think those are sort of small moments where those sort of small takeaways, which you can take as a positive, because they really want this Owen Farrell, Marcus Smith access to work. You know, that 10-12 combination. That's definitely what they want to have going into the World Cup. It hasn't really always gelled, so the fact that it did gel tonight will be a big relief to Eddie Jones and his coaching staff. And Japan, well, 4.5 minutes left. I don't think they'll be able to produce much. Had moments, had a lot of possession, had a couple of nice moves and stuff, but just at the end of the day, just completely outplayed. But even it's been a polo carrying up there. England have one possession back from. Oh, we've still got possession from the replay. It was a short restart, but England were away to the threat. Now Marcus Smith going to Owen Farrell. Owen Farrell seeing a bit of space, popping up to Slade. Slade's got so much company on the left-hand side. Puts the dab in. Is it going to be too far? Is it going to get just right for Johnny Mage? Just going to go out. It's almost perfect from Slade, who's got a wry smile on his face. Johnny Mage as well. He thought he was in there. It almost looked like I was going to stay in. Almost. And just running out of touch. So Johnny May thought he had another international try to his name written all over it. Much seemed under a lot of pressure there from the restart. And a penalty for England. If it's, as if things couldn't get any worse. They're taking it quickly, though. Ball pops out to Mario Toje. Michael Leach goes over. Oh, I think he had a case for holding on, you know. But it's turnover ball anyway, so Japan do turn it over. Derns goes to Gerafan and Hever. Sorry, it's Dylan Riley, rather. Gives up to Lee, who just... How many times have we seen Japan losing the ball in contact? Almost every single time. It's getting ridiculous now. And we will have another scrum here as this game just sort of fades. A slow death. A slow death here for Japan. Freddie Stewart has been awarded the man of the match. I think you could have picked most people in the England 23. But Freddie Stewart is the man who has been awarded it. And yeah, somebody who literally, I think the first time he wore the jersey, has just absolutely made it his own. Don't think there's any argument as to who we wear in that jersey come the World Cup next year. Absolute unit in the air, proper athlete, has everything in it, everything he needs to be a world-class 15. Oh, look at the handling, Slade. Loses it forward there, Machina coming away with it. And then the ball goes out. Yeah, it's just dying a very slow death here. It's been really poor in the last sort of 15-20 minutes. Quality of rugby just gone out the window, unfortunately. I'd say A should be happy. Grant said Japan might not come back to this game. Yeah, I know they've been absolutely hammered. I would say Eddie really likes Tuilagi at 13, so 10 Smith, 12 Farrell, 32 Tuilagi, probably what he wants. So movie makes Japan. We'll have to wait another year before they make another movie. Yeah, it's not going to get the upset tonight. Been firmly beaten at Jamie Joseph's side. Lost to Pondo ahead of the World Cup next year. I think the biggest sort of question is how do you as Japan, how do you counter the physicality of the other sides? You know, we saw it in 2019. You know, they made the quarterfinals, and you're thinking, cool. You know, they luck's with them. They're the home side, and then unfortunately, you know, Box just absolutely hammered them. Good line break there, coming from Watchalong. He's played his first and potentially last touch of the match. Freddie Stewart, will he get a try? No, right towards the corner. Even looking to finish with a flurry. Joe Hayes sets one down, still keeps going. Can't hold on to it. Fast forward, and we'll go back for the scrum. Right, Japan running from their own 22. Well, from their own try line. They have to. Long ball out to Matsushima. What does he have left in the tank? Runs it to Johnny May. And the ball goes out. And that'll be it. Final score in the Twickenham, 52 points to 13. The Brave Blossoms absolutely manhandled by England. It was a long day in the office for them. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We will be live very shortly for Wales versus Argentina. Then I'll see you guys all for the block game a bit later. So looking forward to that. Please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven, and I'll chat to you guys all soon.